Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweep, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Let the people come in. Let the people come in. Remix.
Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Oh, what's up, family? You're listening to Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we're brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Nick Delgazzo, Brian Wilson, Greg Wagnick, the family out there joining us. Another week that we thought we would come on and maybe have some positive things to say. You know, a football team and a coaching staff and every player that could tell me this week told me how pissed off they were. Everybody that I could hear from, they got a mic in front of their face that was on a Zoom call this week, told me how pissed off they were, which is great. And it all sounded good, and it all bought in to the BS that we've been sold, which is a bunch of lies from the beginning here. We thought, oh, you know what? We've seen this in the past. This team struggled early on in the season before, and they've been resilient. And I've sat here and said this season, I expected them at some point to show me that resiliency. Well, you can't tell me how mad you are in the locker room. You can't come back and tell the media, like, man, I got a lot of pissed off guys in that locker room after the loss. Do you? So that aged well this week, because this didn't look like a pissed off team. This looks like guys who at times take plays off and guys at times that want to play. I mean, look at the way we play. Sometimes our defense looks like, oh, that looks like a top 10 defense at times. And then other times you're like, my God, we're missing that many tackles. So it's in the offense, same thing. You know, we're driving the ball down their throat, start the game off. If you're not a good team, you can't get away with these kinds of things. And Miles Sanders calls it up inside the 5. We're not good enough for that. So that just starts off our day, which has been a microcosm this entire season. We're going to play blame games today. I know it. But if you really want to point fingers, point at this entire roster, this entire coaching staff, and its entire front office. Because this isn't a one-man show on why we're not good enough. But we're going to get into a lot of things. So before I get into all that, crumb of the week, we'll talk about the Sixers all-season moves. Been a lot of good ones. So a breath of fresh air here. We'll get a breath of fresh air we'll open the windows up here and clean out the stink that is the Philadelphia Eagles. So that'll be fun. Will the Eagles win another game? Ebb and flow of a season would tell you, sure, Tom, they're going to get one. They're going to get one. Straight face, I'll never pick them again this year. I don't care if they run the table. I don't trust them now. There's zero trust. They're not running any tables. Okay, the only table they're running is they're getting thrown under the table, and they're losing everyone. So I ain't picking them, period. I told you after last week's loss. Anybody who picks them straight face, moving forward, stop doing this kind of stuff, because then you're just too homerish. Like, I can't pick them all week. No shot I was taking them. They don't deserve it, and they showed this week why they don't deserve it. We'll recap what was one of the ugliest performances that I think I've been a part of, in a way. In a weird way, it was one of the uglier performances I've been a part of. And this whole season has been ugly. But to our poll question brought to by Ambuck Services. Find them on the web, ambuckservices.com. 20% off. Tell them the boys from A2D sent you. Gutters, gutter guards, gutter installations, ambuckservices.com. The Eagles should bench Carson Wentz. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow. download, turn on your alerts. Conversate with us tonight a little bit here. Get it off your chest, talk. You're on the couch again. Been a lot of that. Been a lot of laying on the couch talking to the therapist. I'll say I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Not because of his performance. Because when you pay a guy $100 million, you're paying him that to make up for your flaws a little bit too. Make sense? You're giving him $100 million because you think he's that good. He's going to make up for some of your flaws. Hasn't done that at all. Not at all. This year. Not even a little bit. Okay? The other reason is, Doug just said no, but we expected that. And that's part of my reasoning on why I disagree, because they won't do it. They won't do it. You know what I mean? They either they don't think the guy's ready, the other guy behind them, or we agree on that. But the point is, they're just not going to do it as an organization. When you listen, you're already going in a spiral right now, and this organization doesn't want to admit they're wrong ever. So if we think they're going to bench him, I think we're all delusional. It's just not. Doug and Carson are tied to hip. So if you want Carson benched, then Doug's got to go. I mean, it's that simple in my opinion, because they've been here from day one together. They came in together. So I just don't see it happening. Now, performance-wise, does he deserve to get benched? If you're telling me no, I'm telling you you're crazy. Because to me, he needs to go sit down for a second and breathe. Because to me, he's playing press. He's still pressing everything. Doesn't look confident in decision making. I'm not saying he played the worst game of all time today. I'm just saying that he's been the definition of inconsistent all year. He'll make some big throws, and you're like, okay. And then he just looks sloppy. And I know the weather's sloppy, but there's no excuses. This has just been all year. It's been all year. The turnovers, you just can't have it. You can't take a safety. You can't take a safety as a 5-year vet in this league. You cannot take a safety inside the pocket as a 5-year vet in this league. I've defended Carson forever, and I can't defend anybody as a part of this roster right now. Nobody. And $100 million puts a bullseye on your back if there wasn't one already. Okay? And if I can rip Fletcher Cox at times because he gets paid so much, then I got to start being equal opportunity to my quarterback here. I'm not blaming everything on him. We stink. We stink. But for $100 million, you got to make up for some of it. And if that's play calling, I get it. Doug stinks as a play caller. We all know this. Hello. It's now up in front of our face. Get an offensive coordinator in here or you're gone. All right? But at the end of the day, my $100 million quarterback should be able to run around a little bit and move around enough to make some plays. And I know nobody's helped him out because, to be honest with you, our wide receiving core is I mean, they got up and got physical today, and you see what happened. They got up and punched Fulgham in the mouth, and they punched everybody. Alshon, well, if he was even there, they punched him they punched everybody in the mouth.
He wasn't there on the one he didn't jump for. Thanks a lot. Good job. Good job. Good effort.
Do everything. All right? So, look, Fulgham, get the T-shirts. All right? You know what I'm saying? You know, guys get tape. You go against Denzel Wards of the world who will shut you down and eat you up if you ain't ready to play. And that's what we witnessed today. So it's everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm paying you $100 million to make some big plays like you did at the end of last year. That's what we're paying you for. And he hasn't. So I can't sit here and say, oh, he doesn't deserve to get put down. He absolutely deserves to get put down. I just disagree with the poll because I don't think he will. I don't think this organization will because that's admitting they made mistakes. And if we know Howie Roseman and if we know Doug Peterson, they're not in the business of admitting they're wrong. They're not. So we can beg for it, and you're just doing yourself a disservice by banging your head against the wall, begging for Jalen Hurts right now, because it's not going to happen. It's not. Now, if he gets hurt, sure, but it's not going to happen. You're better off begging for Nate Sudfeld right now than you are for Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, because there was no all-season stuff, right? So I disagree to the poll because this organization just won't admit they're wrong right now. He's underperformed big time. And when you get paid $100 million, I can't continue to say week in, week out, well, listen, you don't have a lot of weapons around him. Now, I can't do that game. You're built to make some plays. You're not a statue, and you shouldn't be one. So you're built to get on the run a little bit. You're built to make the run for 10 yards more often than you're not.
And we only saw that, once tonight? We saw that once in the fourth quarter? Yeah. He got out of the pocket and rolled out, and it was a good play.
Yeah. Every good throw he made today was on the run.
There's a couple on the run. Good ball to
No, I'm saying
Goddard
designed.
early.
I'm saying designed.
He made another big throw to Goddard.
One to Goddard early. It was designed.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, look, we're not designing out of the pocket, and he seems to throw the ball the best out of the pocket. So you would think, hey, it doesn't take a genius to say, maybe we should design a few of these fucking plays. Obviously, Doug's nowhere near the genius level at this point. Bottom line to me is we haven't been ready to play for 2 years in a game. When have we come out, besides Washington this year, first week, and then which we just gave right back to them anyway. But when have we come out and looked ready to play a game? We haven't for 2 seasons. We're constantly behind. We're constantly – it's bad game management, bad performances by everyone, and a terrible job of writing up. Usually it's scripted. First 15 plays are usually scripted. Doug clearly can't script shit because we stink. We are the worst first quarter team I've ever seen in my fucking life for 2 years now. It's disgusting. I can't take it. I'm on the verge of not watching, and I thought I'd never say that. But I'm on the verge.
No, absolutely, brother. I mean, they don't look prepared. They look terribly prepared, and it's just, it's embarrassing. And like I said, it was like almost in the way putting it like some perfume on a skunk with that 2017 Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like he'd have been gone a long time ago. You understand? Like he's hanging on that, and people are going to keep defending him because they're able to drink out of the cup, and that was a great time for fans, and that was yip-de fucking do, right? But you take the other years. Don't tell me about playoffs 4 out of 5 years. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? You can't have both sides of it. You know what I mean? It was that year was like, oh, next man up, and they're so resilient, and then now they're the most injured team in the league. And last year, and Carson has no weapons, but last year he had all tomato cans, and they won the last 4 games, so you can't have both sides of it. It's either one or the other. You know what I understand? It's like, tie your fucking spikes on and go play football. And they look terribly, like I said, terribly prepared. They don't execute. It's like, and like you said, it's a colossal of error. It's soup to nuts. You know what I mean? It's not just 11. It's everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, from the special, to offense to special teams. You know what I mean? Like that punt was harmless, but I was texting you guys earlier, but those 2 gunners, I mean, that was almost comical. Like, I know the guy's trying to make an effort, but the other guy's hanging out in the end zone. Like they changed the rules or something, bro. What are you doing? Like, it was just like, it's like everybody has forgotten how to play football. You know what I mean?
No, it is. Listen, it's bad what we watch. I know people are saying agree to the poll. I'm just telling you, I'm not disagreeing about performance, right? His performance equals, hey, maybe come sit with a tablet for 60 this week, right? Okay, but his performance might dictate that, but the organization won't pull that move. All right, they just won't. I mean, like Doug said, he said today, that tells my locker room that we almost quit on the season.
Well, you did quit, Doug. You quit in the first half.
I'm telling you what he's saying. I'm not.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but Doug quit in that first half. You don't call a timeout when Sweat sacks him there with like a minute and a half left, and why would you not use a timeout there?
Well, you still got the ball.
Why not throw a flag when he fumbled the ball? I know they probably would have said, "Oh, we blew the play dead," but throw the fucking flag. Show me that you care. Do something. I'm fed up with Doug. I'm on the last lurch. Like the last little bit of a limb with Doug. But to the poll question, Tom, I'm going to say I disagree strictly because I know that Hurts ain't ready. Okay, that's why I understand what Doug's saying. Like I was telling the team, because the team knows that Hurts ain't ready, and you think we're bad now? Let's put Hurts in. holy fuck! Because we know he's not ready. He's not ready to be a quarterback of this team yet. He's a gadget at the moment. He doesn't know the playbook well enough. He's not ready to step back and make a throw when you have to make a throw. Now, granted, Carson hasn't really done it all year, but we know Jalen's not ready. So I don't know. I don't have much moving forward, but I know that they're not going to bench Carson. So we'll see. Somehow we're still in first place. Like you can hang your hat on that. I don't think you can, but what the fuck?
To me, though, that's a huge indictment on this coaching staff that your second-round pick, and I get it, he's a gadget really, at this
Greg,
point.
But Greg, there's no training camp, and there was no preseason. You got to remember that.
No, I get that. But if he's a gadget guy, he's got to be in the playbook at least learning a little bit. So if we're now 11 weeks into the year, and you can't go to him for extended period of time, because I agree with you, he's not ready. And it shows because he gets what? Maybe 2 snaps a game? And they're always runs. So, like, to me, like, because that pick almost, Tommy, to your point, that pick almost tells me that they were trying to right a wrong. And they were trying to almost admit that maybe they not screwed up with Carson, but maybe they didn't want to give him the extension, but they had to. And then they drafted Hurts. And it's like, all right, but now you're not going to bench him because he's your guy. I get it. Like, based off of performance, I absolutely agree to the poll. I thought he should have been benched halfway through the second half when he was looking as equally as putrid. And maybe you do that and then go back to him next week. You know what I mean? You bench him for the third, halfway through the third quarter, into the fourth, and just let Jalen play out and see what happens. There's no energy with this team. There's nothing to look good about. There's nothing to look at this and say, hey, this is a bright spot, right? We need a spark. And how do you do that? You do that by making a change at the biggest position on your team, whether it's warranted or not.
Yeah, you can't have, like I said, and I agree with you. It lands at their feet because you can't have your backup guy can't be a guy that's not ready. That, to me, that's fucking the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? Because your starter, whether it's from performance or injury, could be one play away, and then that guy's got to go in. So if that guy's not ready, that's fucking insane to me, right? So he should always be the either third guy or if you're going to use him in with these little trick packages or whatever, then, do whatever you got to do. But he should not, he shouldn't be the number two guy then. Like that's just, and especially with Carson's injury history, you know what I mean? So going into the season, I understand no training camp. I get all that. You know what I mean? But then then you got to have, at least a viable backup, that might not, win a lot of football games in this league, but knows the system that can do some stuff for you and run your stuff, whatever your stuff is. Doug's stuff is horseshit, so I don't really know the definition of that either. But somebody that can at least do something.
Please, it's on the roster. To your point, then what are you dressing Hurts for 2 plays? When to your point, if Carson did go down, wouldn't you rather Nate Sudfeld, who actually been around the offense for 3 years or 4 years, whatever it's been? So they must tell you in that fashion they think he would be ready to play then. So to that point, saying he's not ready, maybe he is ready. Maybe to our point is that we just don't know if he's any good either, right? Because but guess what? Maybe that change though. After coming out of the half, or at any point, lights a spark in this team. We don't know that. Okay, we don't know it. So are you trying to win football games, or is it about or is it about too much loyalty? Because at the end of the day, if I hold everybody accountable at the same level, I can go up to somebody and say, "Yo, we're going to put you down for a little bit today. We'll talk about it later. All right, we'll talk about it later. Okay, and then you make your move. That's if you got the biggest ego and bravado in the room. That's if you got the biggest balls. Because what I watched today was a guy who just, even when he threw the pick, he wasn't having a bad game up until the pick. I think he was 6 for 6. So it was like he wasn't playing bad. And then that pick it's just a microcosm of everything. That pick says, here we go again. Not a pick that he's tackled. He takes it to a freaking house. So it just sums us up. Everything that happened in this game sums us up. So if we want to blame Carson, like I know we talked about for 18 minutes, well, hey, I know Miles Sanders is averaging 6 yards a clip. That's great. But you can't put the ball in the turf.
Again, inside the 5.
So this blame game goes everywhere. On the defense side of football, how about when we score and we make it a game? How about one time you don't give up points? The next
there's not a 50-yard play 2 plays later.
Yeah, literally,
the proverbial shutdown inning.
There's not a Derrick Henry stiff arm from hell. Jeez.
Yeah.
And Tommy, to your point, right? You were talking about Wentz not playing bad up until that pick, but to Wilson's point, we're so ingrained right now as a team and as a fan base that we have to play so perfect because we're never prepared as a team that when something like that goes wrong, even though we're still in the game, it's like game's over, we're done. We can't have a score because we need to do so much on our end to be so perfect.
And a combo to that, Greg, is I don't think we're well coached right now. I think that's pretty obvious. And that on top, you put the little salt on top. Our GM's atrocious. This roster is atrocious. We all watch so much football. Okay, you're talking about Cleveland's pick, the linebacker who rolled Goddard out today. I thought he was going to put him on a stretcher. All right, it's a 5th round pick. or a fifth round pick.
Who, my cousin Mac? Mac Wilson?
But guess what? From where?
Mac Wilson?
Alabama. So the SEC, which we just steer away from some reason. But at the end of the list, when you're bad like this, it's not one thing. It never is. It's everything.
I'll tell you what, Tom. Sorry to cut you off real quick, but we've been crushing Doug. I will pat him on the back for one thing. He let our kicker kick today. Which, congratulations, good work. That's a start. That's a start.
He got himself a math tutor, and he figured it out. It was good.
Got himself a smartwatch.
I was proud.
Extra points a good idea? Okay, we'll do extra points today. All right.
We're good. Guys, tell us how you're feeling. I mean, I know a lot of people out there say they would bench Wentz, and I'm right there with you in that game. Like, in that game, I would have. Now that you didn't, I want it right now. Now he goes out next game, and if he stinks it up, then I got to take him out. All right, that's what I would do. But if I was going to make the move, I got to make it in-game to me. In-game to me is when you make it, right? Because you can always go back the next week. Now you can't make it because it's the whole week you're going to be talking about that. You won't have a focused football team for a Monday night game. No shot. I just knew no shot. That's why I disagree.
Are they anyway?
No, they're not going to be, but you understand my point, though.
Yeah.
Who do we play?
Seattle.
That should be a fun one. It might get rough. You know what's crazy is looking at it, you're like, can we maybe we can beat the two NFC East teams that we still play, but besides that, who are we beating? And it still could get us in the playoffs.
Stop.
If we want to
Stop. I know.
Could you imagine though?
I know what you're doing.
How bad are we? But if we get in the playoffs, that's just how bad is the NFC East?
You'll be on Sunday morning that week talking about.
I will. I'll sell us a win. I'll tell you that. I'll sell us a W.
I'm not selling nobody nothing anymore. You understand me? There's no tank off car lots here anymore. I'm done trying to sell. But at the end of the day, all the bad things that we just spoke about, okay? This organization paid Carson $100 million to make up for all their damn flaws. And guess what? He's proving this in this sample size of this year, which has been enough games to say, hey, he can't make up for it all. He's not that guy right now. I don't know if he can ever be that guy again. I don't got a crystal ball. But I'm telling you, in the moment right now, through this year, he doesn't look like the guy. And that's scary. And everybody out there that wants to tag me and this, that, and the third, you're actually rooting for it. That you rooted for it. That this organization's back at least 5 years. At least 5 years. You understand? At least 5 years, if not longer. So everybody that out there that's excited that it looks like he can't play right now and he stinks, all you people that are jacked up about it.
Who's excited?
I know who they are.
Are there people excited? You're getting a little Ducks vibe off right now. Little dad vibe off. I'm just saying. Jay Essen.
I got tagged 45 times today, Wilson. Okay, I got tagged 45 times today by people excited about it.
Why? Why would anybody be excited though? I don't understand.
I can explain to you.
Don't you want the Eagles to be good? I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general. I don't get it. I'll tell you this.
Not those people, right? They're chess people. Everybody by human nature wants to be right. I think that's just
I'm sure Mario Cerrito is one of them. The Foles. I wasn't factoring the Foles guys. I apologize.
Well, I was factoring in.
I apologize for that.
That's all I'm saying. So there's people out there that wanted him not to be good, and the fact that he isn't right now, and I can't tell you if he's ever going to turn it around. Doesn't look like it, right? For all the people that are happy about it, this sets this organization back big time. Listen, unless Jalen Hurts proves all of us wrong, it sets us back 5 years. You understand?
And to Dylan Beeks' thing right here, I'm not even saying that. Like, I agree with your comment here about Wentz, but the thing is, we'll look even worse with Hurts on the field, and then you might kill his confidence. Now you have another guy who and now he might be broken, and then where do you go from there? I'm not ready to throw him into the fire and watch him get killed. Not to mention we can't fucking block anybody also. So I don't know. I'm not ready to put Hurts in, to be honest with you. I'm not ready to put Hurts at quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know if he can. Listen, I mean, I'll just tell you.
I don't think he's ever going to be a very good quarterback, to be honest with you. But
and that might be the case. I don't know. Okay, I don't think so. I don't think so. But guys have proved me wrong before. Guys have proved people wrong before. So he wouldn't be the first guy to prove me wrong, and that's fine. And if he can, great, because he's an Eagle. All right. So I don't give a rat's ass who can play. I don't hold agendas when it comes to my team. I just want a guy who can play. So if he is a guy, great. I got more confidence in Carson than I do of him, but also I haven't seen him play. You know what I mean? So at this level, I've seen him play college enough to think that, okay, I don't think he can throw enough.
I mean, he couldn't throw in the SEC. That's just fact.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say.
He couldn't throw in the Big 12. I mean, SEC.
I mean, well, he did. I mean, he threw well in the Big 12, but everyone throws well in the Big 12.
I know.
I mean, he did throw well in the Big 12, but everyone does.
I'm just more saying
Taylor Martinez threw well in the Big 12.
Guys get better. Guys learn how to get better. Guys can develop, right? If they want to. So I'm never saying that he never can play because I don't know until he plays, right? So I see the NFL sample size. Because guys sometimes get coached up a little bit, they get better. Not that we coach anybody up, but you never know. So my point is I'm always going to be Team Carson when it comes to our two quarterbacks right now. But at the end of the day, listen, this game coming up, I mean, the next game coming up, if he's not performing and you don't pull the trigger.
Well, at some point you have to. I mean, if we keep playing this bad, you have to. You just have to.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you think everybody's going to start looking in the mirror because, I would ask you guys. I mean, I think Tommy was maybe higher on this team than everybody else. You know what I mean? So I really know that Howie's a jackass. All right. But, there was a lot of people that had him winning 10, 11, 12 games. You know what I mean? So was the roster that bad? I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know what I mean? So you can't pick them to win 10, 11, 12 games and then say, well, this roster is fucking atrocious. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but it's got to be, once again, it comes down to one or the other. And this offensive line is awful. I mean, one of the worst all times. I mean, I know people were defending him and stuff, but this is, the former bodyguard. I mean, he gets beat like a drum. I mean, Lane got, got beat today like he was Sandusky on his first day in jail. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, they're just getting pushed back. They're getting their shit pushed back. They're getting their shit pushed back. And wow. I didn't mean to offend some Penn Fruit guy. Sorry. They're just getting their, go watch that tape. I mean, that Lane Johnson play was embarrassing. That's embarrassing for your right tackle right there. I don't care if you make, the league minimum or you make millions and millions of dollars. That's an embarrassing play. You can get beat for sacks all the time. That guy lifted Lane up and said that maybe you need, a little Latimer type. Think you need a little more juice, Lane. Think you need a little more juice. Lifting him right off the fucking ground. Like he was wearing a skirt.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. I mean, I think I think the things that we thought were going to be big parts of this football team have been inconsistent because your offensive line has just been a different guy every week that's either getting abused or not playing, right? So it's been a different guy in or different guys getting beat up, and the offensive line's killed this football team, to be honest with you, because it all starts up front. And, all of us coming in, there's a lot of talent up there. So you think that, okay, our offensive line is going to be a strength of ours. But not just because of injuries and lack of performances from guys, or guys underperforming, they haven't been good. So that's a part of the roster that hasn't been good. I think for a lot of us that we thought Carson was going to have a big year this year. And that's another reason, like a guy like myself would have him at 11 wins. To like your point, Sweeps, like that's why I had him at 11 because I thought he was going to take a big jump, and I thought this defense was going to be really good. So there was two reasons.
You've had us at 11 wins for 2 decades. So, I mean, come on.
I'm explaining what I personally thought was going to be the positives of this team that haven't showed up, to the right. And then there's parts of this roster that were never addressed. I mean, your second quarter is atrocious. You have holes. You just have holes. You have guys who are underperforming. And I mean, I don't even know where you start besides starting over.
I will say there was one bright spot I saw today, and that was Mailata seemed to solidify at least the left side when he went in there, when Jason Peters pulled himself.
He got beat again late in the game. I mean, Mailata has played well, though, Greg. I'll give you that.
But
I thought Goddard
at least worked.
I thought Goddard looked healthy today and was out there open, catching balls, which is a good thing moving forward. But, yeah, not a lot to like.
That's it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you're grasping at straws, you're going to be like, at least Mailata looked like he could play. Because Peters all day didn't look like he could play at all.
I mean, our defense played pretty well today. I'm not going to give them too much at the end of the game when they were breaking off some runs because they're on the fucking field the whole second half. So, I mean, we were 3-and-out the whole second half. So it's pretty tough at that point to stop a really good run team when they're just going to keep running it. But I thought our D played pretty well today. But again, our offense was terrible. And And the defense, not enough big plays. Now, granted, you could say maybe they made that big play on Baker. Doug doesn't throw the flag. It's stop. They ruled him forward motion stop, whatever. But yeah, I thought our D was solid today. I'll say that. Our offense was atrocious, and I thought Goddard looked okay, which was probably the only bright spot offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Jalen made a couple of good catches for what that's worth. He
did. Yeah, probably he looked the best of the receivers today, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can say that he's a guy who's probably going to continue to get better and better. So, I mean, I'm rooting for him, even though I would have taken guys over him. Again, like I'm an Eagles fan, so of course I'm going to root for a guy just because it might not have been my pick. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to hate the guy forever, because then it just makes it no fun watching. So, at the end of the day, I mean, at least he's showed a little sign of life for the last 3 weeks that you can say, okay, at least he shows he can be a little bit impactful, but. Yeah, I mean, it starts with your quarterback, starts up front with your offensive line. We talk about the offensive side of the football, and it starts with not turning the football over. And your running back, your all-pro running back supposedly turns it over. Your quarterback turns it over. So it's a clusterfuck of turnovers. Your offensive line, and when you're not turning over, it's getting beat, or your quarterback's not getting rid of the ball in time, or a 5-year starter is getting sacked in the end zone inside the pocket for a safety. I mean, listen, there's all things point to, hey, you should have been sat down. All things point to that. Now, Doug said today, after the game, he goes, well, the whole time we felt like we were a score away. Or we were a score away for most of it. So he said that's why we didn't think about it. And you take that for what it is. But I really think that they're so tied at the hip that it goes to accountability, right? I mean, let me ask you guys a question. If any quarterback, name quarterbacks around National Football League that could get away with this many turnovers this late into a season.
All the big ones.
There's 5, maybe 5 right now that you're like, if they're really turning the ball over.
Brady's, Breeze, Rodgers, Wilson, Watson.
All the big ones that don't have a capable backup.
Yeah.
All the established studs.
All your $100 million guys.
Thank you. That's my point. So they value him as that guy right now. Okay, so this organization and Doug value him as that guy right now, as a top 10 guy, a guy who's getting paid $100 million, and we're not even thinking about sitting him down. That's your coaching staff saying that, not me. That's the only reason I disagree with the poll, because it's just, I don't think that's ever going to come to fruition, and maybe it does at the end of the year, but still, I don't see it this year, and they're tied to him money wise for another full year. So there's no trade happening. There's none of that. There's too much dead money that they can't afford right now. So anybody that's thinking he's getting dealt, he's getting sat down, you either got to root for him and pray to God he gets out of his funk, right? And gets out of it quick, or it is what it is. So it's sad. It's sad that yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Listen, there's tons of
what scares you is the decision making. You know what I mean? Like you can see, without training camp and physical stuff, you can not understand, but you can say, hey, listen, it's just, I got to play better and stuff. I got to make, I'm high with my throws. I got to make this throw better. But for him, it's the decision making. I mean, you can't. It's like a swing pass. You missed Rieger wide open, so you're an NFL quarterback. You don't see guy wide open. Guys miss guys all the time. I get it. Then you go this way with a swing pass that was atrocious. That obviously, and then to Tommy's point, before you take a sack in the end zone, you throw it away and you make them throw a flag. If they're going to call grounding, then you make them call grounding. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
You don't just turn into the fetal position and accept it. You know what I mean? Make the guy make a call there. You know what I mean? So, the interception, whether it was PI, I understand. Fulgham got mugged. You know what I mean? But there's still 3 guys there. You still threw that ball up for grabs. Understand? You know what I mean? It's not like it was 1-on-1. Maybe it was 1-on-1 at the time. By the time you fucking threw it in the fucking Erie River, right? There's 3 guys there. You know what I mean? It was like, it's.
The one to Alshon's even worse to me.
Hold on.
Yeah, even worse. Now, granted, Alshon showed 0 effort.
Well, so don't go to Alshon yet. I want to talk about the ball to Fulgham real quick and then go to Alshon, okay? That ball there, too. If you watch it one more time, for just good times, right? Boston Scott, because that was a corner or linebacker blitz off the other end, off the other side, all right? He had his mind made up to throw that ball to Fulgham pre-snap. Pre-snap made his mind up. because Boston Scott comes out of the backfield wide open, nobody around him. All right, so I know that happens to every quarterback, but you can't make your mind up prior. When you start, that makes me feel like that you don't have confidence in yourself when you're making your mind up who you're going to throw the football to pre-snap. I don't know. That worries me. That's concerning.
Especially when he's not a top 5 guy of all time. It's different if you're throwing out the Moss or T.O.
Yeah, and then like I said, then it drives you crazy, and as fans is then you see the Richard Rodgers play where he held it, looked around, fourth different read, and then Rodgers was able to break open wide open in the end zone. So you're just like, there's times when you see the flashes of it. It's just, but it's been absolutely horseshit. He's just been absolute horseshit.
Absolutely, some great plays. We can't ignore that fact that he had like 3 great plays today, but there's too many mistakes and too much bad. Like you said, the one to Alshon, why are we even throwing that ball right there? Just throw it away. Why are we trying to loft up the Alshon? Now, granted, Alshon didn't jump, but what are we doing? What are we accomplishing by that? Not to mention it's going to be 2 yards short of the end zone, and we have hardly any time left. What are you trying to accomplish with that throw? That's the shit that's mind-numbing to me. I don't care about a high throw if he's throwing to the right target. I care about the stupid decisions and the not knowing your reads type of shit. That's the shit that can't happen when you're this late into your career and you're supposedly a star quarterback. That shit can't happen.
Factual.
No, absolutely. And like I said, back to that other guy's comment. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to continue to give them passes, dude? Like, grow up, man. Like, there's a lot of teams that have bad offensive lines. And then once again, when you're talking about the weapons, like you can't have it both ways, right? Last year, you had your little red rocket out probably the last 4 games, and you had your little fucking Wentz flag and got you in the playoffs, and you were so excited, right? And then now this year with more weapons. Okay, so I don't care. I understand injuries happen, but you would say that they probably have more. You'd have some more weapons, right? I mean, you'd have to be a fucking asshole to say, all these guys have so many weapons, and he doesn't have anybody, and our O-line sucks. No kidding, right? But that's it's like, come on, dude. Like we're talking about the decision making. You know what I mean? Like I understand he's under pressure. I see. We said that weeks ago when we were trying to defend him, when we were giving him a pass early on. It was like, hey, this dude's constantly under duress. He's getting sacked 6-7 times. He's the pressure's ungodly, and we get it, and some guys were hurt, like Rieger was hurt and stuff, and Ertz wasn't doing anything. So, but I mean, guys are starting to come back now. He's got his weapons. The excuses have to stop, from that side. You know what I mean? Like there's the people that hate him. Then there's the people that are just going to blindly defend him. And then there's going to be people in the middle like us that are just going to call it the way we see it. I don't understand why it has to be left or right. I mean, I understand that's the world we live in, so people just can't fucking use their eyes sometimes.
Sleeps, that's my kid too, right? Like that's a guy I love, and I've been extremely critical of him the last couple of weeks, and I think he should have been sat down today. So people got to take the blinders off sometimes and say, hey, this guy just. It's not about the weapons, not about all that. It's about some of the decision making. It's about making plays with your feet. Then it's about doing the other things. You are paid $100 million to make up for the flaws, and he hasn't. And I'm not blaming all of it on him, but he needs. But as a franchise guy, you make big plays. Donovan McNabb made up for flaws. You know what I'm tired of? Donovan McNabb in this city made up for flaws all day, all freaking day. All day and got crucified. And all he did was make up for fucking flaws on this offense all day, and people smoked them. So if you think I was the biggest 5 guy around, okay, if you think I'm going to sit here at blind loyalty to 11, okay, because of 2017, you're all crazy now. You're all crazy. You got the wrong guy. All right? I love my football team. I love to keep the glass half full, but the glass is fucking empty right now. All right? And anybody think it's even a couple drips? They're not even a drip. There ain't even a drip in there. It's so hard.
We'd have a home playoff game if the season ended today.
Knock it off, Wells. I'm sorry. I can't defend you.
Could you imagine this team having a home playoff game? We stink. We're beyond bad. We're beyond bad. That's amazing to me. It's amazing. We fucking stink. I know we're giving Carson a lot right now, and he deserves a lot because he's played like shit, but the whole team stinks. Like I said, no one's ready to play. We haven't been ready to play for 2 years. Doug fucking stinks. I'm ready to clean house. I'm ready to clean house. We can make the playoffs, and I'll still clean house because I'm fucking fed up with Doug. And Howie's got to go too. They're joined at the hip.
Well, that's the thing, Wilson. Everybody would be joined at the hip, and that would mean 11 would go too because it's a hip party, right? It's a hip party. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can say to that, and that's fine. Listen, at this point, like you could fire everybody and clean it all out, and I can't argue with you. You know what I mean? I can't argue with it. Mario, there's nothing to say to me. You understand me?
Sorry for that noise. That was CeeDee Lamb getting smoked across the middle.
Mario,
I saw that.
Mario, there's nothing to say to me. See, now I'm going to come in hot because I love this is what this, you know what I mean? Hold on. And then, Mario, there's nothing to freaking say to me. I just smoked the guy. What else do you want to say? All right? You guys are all in love with another quarterback that's never coming home. You fell in love with the girl who's never coming home. Do you understand? You fell in love with the girl who's sleeping with everybody, and you're still texting her. Okay, that's the girl you fell in love with. Okay? This organization did him a disservice in 2018.
Trying to make a housewife.
Yep. You should have shipped Nick out in 2018. Should have never stepped foot on this football field week 1. All right. So you did your franchise quarterback a disservice then. You did him a service again now. And guess what he said to you? I'm not good enough anyway. So what else do you want me to tell you? He's not good enough. Can he change? Sure. Doesn't look like it right now. It's bad. And there's no excuses here. It's a bad football team, a bad organization right now, a bad head coach, and a bad quarterback, bad offensive line, bad everything. But $100 million makes up for it. So I never crushed Donovan McNabb, and Wilson knows that. I never would hit McNabb because he always made up for the flaws. And smart football fans see that. He hasn't made up for any flaws in 2020. You understand? He made up for flaws in 2019 at the end of the year. Yeah, sure he did. He did make up for flaws at the end of the year. New year, new what have you done for me lately? And lately has been atrocious. When Sweep said decision-making, right? All the decision-making. I mean, the balls that get picked off by him or taking a safety, right, or holding the ball too long, that's trust.
Oh.
That's and trust.
And it's not just one play here and there. It's almost like every time he drops back. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. That Burrow knee injury is gross, dude. The Burrow knee injury is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so bad.
That sucks.
I feel bad for him. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, it was locked up when he threw it. It was locked up.
Yeah, it hurts I just watched it. It hurt my leg watching
Going at it again.
Jesus Christ.
But, I mean, guys, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to, listen, I don't know who my next quarterback is. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, right, when it comes to this football team. Everything that we thought about this football team, we've been wrong about. All right, everything we thought about toughness and the leaders and all these things, we were wrong right now because great leaders put guys on their backs, right? The special ones put people on their back. Now, and this head coach has done him no favors in play calling. His receiving core doesn't seem like it gets much separation at times, but maybe it does because there's plenty of plays. There's plenty of plays you can go back on and say, dude, you missed a guy wide open. You missed a guy wide open, right? So it's a combo effect. But the fact that he can move around and run around is why I'm going to start putting a lot more on him. Because you can do what these other quarterbacks do in the league. You can get outside the pocket and have a guy wide open deep. You can do some of them things.
And yep.
Go ahead, Greg. No,
I was just saying we don't attack deep, and you would say because that's the offensive line. But when you have a guy that's mobile enough like Carson, then we should at least get him outside to get time to get our guys deep. Isn't that why we were supposed to build this track team of a wide receiver core, right? So that we could attack the deep and stretch the field? I mean, the Browns, they were stuck to our guys today because they knew we weren't going to beat them over top. They knew they were going to be in the middle of the field to where they didn't have to work very hard, and they would be glued to our guys because our guys don't separate from the defenders, and we sure as hell don't beat anybody deep.
Yep, both deep balls today were the tight ends, Greg. But are both over 15-yard balls in the air were the tight ends today.
Yeah, and Rodgers was probably the 8th option.
I got one more thing.
And he has the best hands on the team, by the way. Richard Dick Rod catches everything.
Ask you guys this: you firing somebody this week?
They won't. They won't.
But yeah, I mean, I think we could sit here each of the last 3-4 weeks and say somebody's head has to roll at this point, right? I mean, we were even talking. What was the game we did the live stream on, and we said at a halftime we should bench Carson. So now this is another game where we're sitting here mid-game, and we're not even talking about full game. Mid-game, hey, we need a spark. I know it's a one-score game, Doug, but we need a spark. There's nothing going right now. Change it up, because this team and this quarterback right now is the absolute definition of insanity. We do the same thing every week and hope for a different result.
It's fucking Groundhog's Day, Greg, isn't it? Every game has been the
unreal.
exact same all season long. We're down 10-0 before we blink. We look like absolute dog shit out the gate every fucking
Absolutely.
week. I'm fired Doug right now. Be honest with you, Tom. I'm done. I'm out. I am. I know I said I've been teetering. As the show started, I was teetering. I'm off.
Can I say
I'm done.
something? Can I say something?
Yeah, I'm always the wrong guy to ask because I fire people at halftime. That's why I'm not an owner. That's why I'm just some fucking tomato can that just comes on here every Sunday. You know what I mean? I just if I was an owner, your head would be on a swivel in anything. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit if you're fucking slinging soup or you're fucking getting paid millions of dollars. You know what I mean? It's the way it goes. You know what I mean? I'm a big accountability guy. You know what I mean? Just move on. There's plenty of jobs. Just move on, do something else.
Yeah, go to.
World needs plenty of bartenders.
Listen, what I'll say is I've been a guy who thought Doug got a lot of his roster. I thought guys played for him. Sort of felt the same way I felt when it came to Doug.
Dalvin Cook's dead.
Might be paralyzed.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Shout out Bill Middlebrook.
Bill. I would say I'll let the season play out, but he looks like a guy who should be fired. You know what I mean? I thought before Sunday, I would say that I would have gave him next year and seen, gave him that one last year, and we'll see where you're at if you can change things around a little bit. But that being said, the football I've watched this year is the worst football I've watched with the Philadelphia Eagles in a long goddamn time. Mm-hmm. And when when I start watching football that's that bad, I start to wonder if the coach lost his locker room.
Absolutely. If you weren't in such a shit division, you don't only make the playoffs probably the last 2 years. And then what? That's the only thing some people hang their hat on. Hey, man, we get to the playoffs, you know what I mean? Give the guy a chance. No. You're either fucking built to fucking win it all right, or you're fucking wasting everybody's time. You know what I mean?
No, and you're right, Tommy. My hatred of Doug aside, right? But you're right. For the last, up until this year, you could always sit there and say they at least felt like they played for him, right? He at least felt like he got much out of the guys, whether the talent on the team was very good, right? He at least seemed to get more out of guys than anybody really else. But you're right. This year, there's none of that.
Yeah,
he can be all pissed off as he wants. If you not that you have to like your head coach, but if your head coach is that good of a leader, your team wouldn't look like this week after week.
No, you wouldn't. You would see guys fight for you, and we haven't seen that. So when you start seeing that, and you start seeing a football team that you were told was angry and pissed off, not show up, right? Then you start to question, well, is the guy in charge an issue? Because it looks like players are giving up. It looks like players are checked out. So when I see guys check out, I wonder, did you lose the entire locker room? And once you do, you never get it back.
Nope.
Right? So once that accountability is lost, and people don't believe in you, it's hard to get that back. And that could be part of that could be part of 11's thing too.
Right. Yeah, the ice cream is melted, Tommy. I agree.
Melted, yeah. Geez, it's soup, all right. But it's burning hot, that ice cream. You guys want some hot ice cream? Hot ice cream here.
They call that soup.
I know Doc's going to be in here in a minute, but when he comes in, the first thing I'm going to say, what's funny is throughout this whole year, nobody's had to talk about Carson being healthy, right? The first year, it's you don't got to talk about Carson being healthy. It's everything else.
Kind of wish he wasn't at this point.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
At least give him an excuse, right?
Yeah, just some food poisoning. Nothing crazy. Just a little. You get food poisoning for 6 weeks.
Maybe can he catch the vid? Maybe get 14 on the down slope.
Yeah, like I don't
I'm
even.
sorry. Is that wrong? I'm sorry.
No, I just like to maybe have to.
I don't apologize.
No,
I'm not sorry.
I like to have quarantine for a week though without catching it. Just like
Can
he was
can
around somebody.
we just pretend like he was? Oh, Carson tested positive.
There's a false positive.
See what Jalen can do.
Yeah, and he probably
Jalen plays like shit. We're like, God, Carson's good. Negative test this morning.
That was a false positive.
Good to go. Good to go. Good to go.
I think Jalen Hurts would probably come in and throw 3 picks, or he would do the complete opposite.
He'd ball out.
And he'd
3
ball
touchdowns. Yeah. We'll think he's good, then he'll fucking stink next year after we trade Carson. Carson will light it up somewhere else. It'll be a whole thing. Yep. I can already see it now. Can already see it.
And I think we watched the football show.
I didn't mean Nostradamus here right there, but good chance.
We've watched a football team year in, year out get worse. So, you put that on the people in charge, right? That's where the accountability all starts at. So it starts with Howie, starts with Doug. So them 2 guys are the guys in charge in a football team that, has gone the other direction from when they won a Super Bowl.
And playoffs aside, it's 2018 or 2017, 2018. As you said, our win total has gone down every year. And it seemed that every year it seems to get a little bit worse and worse. Whereas before, we were able to say, all right, at least they got to the playoffs, right? At least they made the playoffs, But now when this team looks as dreadful as they do, it's just like, what else do we got? Because we can't hang our hat on that anymore.
No, I don't know what to hang my hat on anymore. Besides, like always saying, I'm not a guy who's like playing for picks, but shit, give me a top 5.
Dude, that's the funny thing. Like, I was just,
we'll fuck it
me
up.
and my dad were talking about watching the game. The bottom half of this league is so bad that even if we were to just hypothetical, even if we don't win another game, there's still so many bad teams that we still barely get a top 10 pick. Because that's our year. That's our year, right? We're bad, and we still can't get a top 5 pick.
Speaking of that, do you think this football team wins?
We would fuck it up anyway.
Dude, you're absolutely right.
Do you guys think this football team wins another game?
Yeah, we'll probably win the division. Funny thing is, I'm not even joking.
Oh yeah, 5-10-1. Yeah.
Yep, 5-9-1, or 5-10-1. Sorry.
Will's had Doug's math tutor.
Clever, Greg.
Those are the only 2 games that you can sit there and say that we'd have a chance, right?
It's NFL. You always got a chance, but you make a compelling argument.
and I don't know. Alex Smith would be coming off of his 3rd, 4th game, so it's no longer, something new to him with the new leg, with the bionic leg. And then Dalton's back for the Cowboys, so you'd have to think that they're better than DiGiorno DiNucci.
Well, they're going to probably beat Minnesota tonight. But the big one is Thursday. If Minnesota beats Dallas today and then Dallas beats Washington Thursday, then it's like, fuck. We do have a really good shot at winning the division.
Yeah, well, I wasn't even asking you guys about winning division. Did they win another game? Did they win another game?
Yes, they'll win another game.
I got 1.
I got 2.
Wow, you would.
Maybe 3.
Stop it. Now, stop getting carried away with yourself.
Okay. What? I'm just being honest. If you watch the division, they stink. We still play Dallas and Washington.
Have you watched us?
Yeah, I'm well aware. I've seen us. and we're still in first again. Again.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue to say that one. You can continue.
But we are, though. That's to say the division stinks.
I understand, but I'm not.
Could you imagine saying that every week? Like, it's like 3 straight weeks. It's like 3 straight weeks, and that's been the narrative. You know what I mean? And it's
somehow we keep losing and not losing. You know what I
mean? So, like, it's like embarrassingly factual. You know what I mean? Like, you're not saying anything wrong, but it's like, holy fuck. 3-6-1. I mean,
what's this guy arguing about? You're hooking his arm, buddy. That's illegal.
So, what do you guys think? So Wilson has 3, Greg has 1. Sweeps, how many you got?
I said 2.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Like, I thought maybe today was one that they would steal. in the 2 division games, and then maybe today. So, I I had him at maybe 3, and then obviously today slipped away, and so I mean like we talk about the NFL, anything can happen in the NFL, but I mean it's the other four. The other four have really, really pretty good offenses. All right, they might put up 45 on the Birds. You know what I mean? And can the Eagles score 46 and win 46-45? Maybe against the Seahawks. That's about it.
No, we can't score over 17.
I know, so I'm just.
Everybody hears us say this all the time. Dr. Paul Vidal, specialized physical therapy in the house. Doc, good to have you. Good to have you on.
Doc, how are you?
What's up, guys?
Minus the pandemic and the Eagles, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing? You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Cool.
We got you.
Yeah, man. Good to be back.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, maybe you can bring us some good luck here because
We need it.
I thought when we would have you on this year, we'd probably be more talking about our quarterback being banged up sometimes more so than his bad play, and that hasn't been the issue this year. So that's good news that we don't have to bring up Carson Wentz's name every week and injuries, but hasn't played well. Another young quarterback just went down today at FedEx Field, and it seems like to be the house of horrors there, and that's Joe Burrow, and that's probably from what it looks like is going to be a long recovery for Joe Burrow because that one looked ugly, right, boys?
Yeah. Serious knee injury.
Yeah. What did they say? What was I didn't see it. I saw it, but I was out. What did they say it was?
They didn't say yet, Doc, but I'm assuming that he tore like most of the ligaments in his knee. His foot was planted, and it looked like similar to McGahee, kind of almost. If you remember that one from college, just disgustingly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he tore his ACL, maybe MCL and LCL too. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just calling it a left knee injury right now. I'm sure when he gets scanned tomorrow or tonight.
They'll wait for the MRI tomorrow or today, and they'll see what happens from there. But yeah, usually ACL and MCL happen together. Maybe the meniscus a little bit too. So
probably. That's probably. I would say that's probably a good guess.
Yeah,
for a young kid.
That just sucks for him. Yeah, just terrible.
Everybody gets hurt there.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, that's a day when you play there. If you're not the home, if you don't play for the Redskins, that's a game you call out sick. Hey man, I'm feeling like my ankle's a little sore today. I'm good, man. gonna need my backup to play. Shane Falco, where are you, Shane?
Well, Paul, the thing is, I mean, do you think something's up with the turf there a little bit, or is it just the way that the cookies crumbled essentially?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you'd like to think it's not the turf, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, we grew up with a lot of guys playing on grass, right? I don't recall a lot of these injuries, but maybe it's just the game is.
I mean, they're grass, but they're like a it's all synthetic.
Yeah, synthetic, right.
Synthetic grass.
Yeah, but I mean, real grass fields. I mean, at least that grass maybe gives a little bit. And the other thing too is these players are bigger and faster, and maybe the injuries are just as a result worse off. But you would like to think too they're also in better condition. But that's kind of like that's kind of the paradox of it. Doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah, it's not for anybody cutting. Like I know what Tom was thinking, but it's all guys getting sacked, and then just they're just absolutely legs are breaking. You know what I mean? We don't know what the verdict on Burrow is, but that thing was locked up too. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was broke. He wasn't like screaming and stuff. I think he just felt it like everything. He felt everything pop probably. You know what I mean? But the other 3 guys all broke their legs.
Yeah, I was more still kind of thinking about like maybe getting stuck somehow, even though you are getting sacked, like it just sticks, but. I don't know. I just think it's just bad luck.
Terrible luck for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a good theory though, Tom, because I feel like that's when you get the injuries is when your feet get stuck to the ground, and then it's when you're hit, turned, twisted, whatever. That's usually when they come.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem with the vet. The vet stadium was really bad with that. But I mean, obviously, no one has turf like the vet had turf. So.
Usually if a bone breaks, that obviously that's going to hurt and you're going to be in pain regardless. And they're writhing off the field. And, like a soft tissue, when a soft tissue completely tears or is torn from its attachment, it hurts when it happens because obviously it's it's injured. But once the tissue is no longer intact, technically there's really no nerve input there. So the pain is probably not as bad afterwards compared to a break because there's nothing intact anymore. But as it happens, and maybe in the immediate after effect, it's painful. But as the days go on, you're probably just having pain or discomfort because of the swelling. But a fracture, obviously, that's something different.
I hear a lot of people try to say, well, Carson Wentz's mechanics are off, right? And that might be true. You know what I mean? But would any of that have to do with just the muscle memory from when he came back early? Like I know it's so many years ago, but like would it hinder him getting his feet under him on throws more often than not now? Like I mean, you would think that you wouldn't at this point right now that you wouldn't even think about that anymore. I just wonder if the knee and the back just to mess up his mechanics and he just never got him back in terms of his feet. Because it seems like a lot of throws people will say are like flat-footed and him like not trusting his lower half anymore, but just not stepping into throws and stuff still.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of years now. I mean, I remember we talked the first maybe a year or two ago. Like, when he first came back, it's just he's got to get his reps and he's got to get that feel again. But I mean, you would like to think he's had the time now, and it almost seems like a couple things. I mean, obviously he's not all to blame for everything that's going on. I mean, the line and stuff like that is an issue, but I think his confidence is maybe not there. And then it doesn't help that he's obviously in the spotlight, and he hasn't been good in getting the ball out as timely as he should, and all that. And it's just there's probably a number of factors. I don't think it's a physical thing for him at this point. I mean, I think he should be rehabilitated, and at least from that knee injury a couple of years ago.
That's what we call a reach question, Doc. You know what I
mean? Yeah, I like where your head's at. I was just going to add to that was if he was like overthrowing or skipping the right guy, then I'd be like, yeah, man, your mechanics suck. You know what I mean? But like, like your mechanics don't suck when you're not making the right read and your decision making is piss.
Yeah, I mean, you missed a couple open guys today from what I saw before I had to leave, and I mean, that's not a mechanics thing. I mean, that's just not seeing it.
Yeah, and how many times do you see quarterbacks around the National Football League just get the ball out of their hands quick and guys are wide open? Like, it's amazing. I feel like we're the only offense around football that never gets the ball out in 3 seconds and there isn't guys wide open. And when we do get it out in 3 seconds, it's probably a pick or a guy's blanketed. I mean, we're watching it. You watch Red Zone for 5 minutes a day, and we would see that, and it's just something's off here, and maybe it's time for Doug to go. I don't know. And maybe a new voice and new coaches that are coming in that feel like they have something to prove when they're trying to coach guys up instead of maybe it's kind of a little ego-ish down at the NovaCare complex, because that's the only thing that would make sense.
Hey, Doc, there's a good question here from the YouTube, Don. Can you see Drew Brees coming back from the broken ribs and collapsed lung? What's the usual time frame? Because I don't know if they actually gave any time frame from the Saints side. They just said
they put him on IR, Greg.
Yeah, so like 3-4 weeks.
Which means it has to be at least 4 weeks, I think, this
something
year.
Like that.
IR is. So they put him on IR.
Yeah, because I think he fractured 5 or 6 ribs, and he
something like that. Yeah,
and he got a punch.
They said 11.
I saw 11. I did see 11.
8 on one side, 3 on the other.
Yeah, I can't believe you're even breathing. I have no idea about the human body, but I find that hard to believe that you're breathing still.
Yeah, man. I mean, like obviously the ribs will heal. I mean, it's not like you can cast the ribs. You can wrap them up, give them support. They'll have to heal with time. I mean, for most of us, our 30s or 40s, gosh, that's easy 4 to 6, if not 6 to 8 week period. But then the punctured lung's a different thing, he's going to be down for a couple of weeks, if not a month and a half or so, and then he's going to lose his capacity, his cardiopulmonary capacity a little bit, and he's going to have to get that back too. So, I mean, to get into game shape, I don't know what their record is and if they're even headed toward the playoffs or anything.
They are.
They are, yeah. So, and what week are we in? We're week
11.
11.
They have roughly 6 to 7 more games left, depending on probably 6.
I got to tell you, man, that's a tough way to go out if I'm Drew Brees. I'm not sure how many years he's got left, but I mean, I would
This
think
should be it.
I mean, if he was done the rest of this year, the competitor me would say I want to come back because you don't want to go out like that. But I don't know, man. I think that's a question mark for this year, for the rest of this year. That would be a remarkable comeback for a guy his age to get back at that level.
Yeah, maybe playoffs, but I mean, like you said, Doc, at that point, he hasn't done anything for weeks then, right? Like, how are you going to trust him to go into the playoffs?
Yeah, and the thing is, he can
7
wear
weeks
like
down the line,
Yeah, he could wear like a protective jacket. I think Michael Vick had that for a couple of games or a couple of seasons ago. Or gosh, that's more than a couple of seasons ago. But but the thing is, one big hit and someone falls on you. I mean, those fractures could be mature and and heal, but they're how solid are they?
Right.
One big hit that could cause re-injury.
Ted says, do you think Wentz has lingering effects from playoff concussion from Clowney? I would hope not at this point. But I'll let Doc answer that one.
That's my dog weighing in. Yeah.
They
The concussion thing's interesting because that's an answer or a question you can't fully answer because you don't know what the lingering effects of one concussion and unfortunately if people have multiple concussions, we just don't know the full lingering effects of that. So is it possible he's just not hitting on all cylinders from a cognitive standpoint? Which then there's that whole connection between how you're thinking and then how your body physically executes that. So that's a great question, and that's hard to answer because we just don't know in these type of cases.
Bobby Eagles, in your opinion, Doc, do you think players are coming back to play sooner than they should? Eagles seem to have the same guys go out every week.
Yeah, man, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's a product of who they have to call upon. But yeah, I'll tell you, I don't envy my colleagues who are in those situations that have to be there and try to get players back soon because you'd obviously want people to come back when they're ready to come back, and I'm sure there's pressures they have to deal with to get people back on. So
for sure.
Yeah, my sense is that there are probably more people coming back sooner than they should, or let's say maybe they're coming back and they're not optimal, but maybe they're good to go, but maybe not optimal.
Seems like that. It seems like that. I mean,
yeah, that seems to be the one.
It seems like everybody, they want to come back, they want to play, which you love, but we just have more.
I feel like when you get to this point of the season, it's if you're hurt or are you injured, Like if you're hurt, you can still play. If you're injured, you can't play.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's NFL, everyone's hurt at this point. Everyone's hurting. Something's hurting.
Darnell Jefferson, I see you, Darnell.
It's a physical game, man, and it's just but you're right. I mean, are you just achy and sore or you really can't function? And maybe there's a fine line there, but with the physicality and probably brutality of the game, injuries, one play away.
Yep.
So, question for you, Doc. It was a poll question. The Eagles should bench Carson Wentz. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, we were just talking about that where I was before, and it's interesting because on one hand, as bad as they are, they're still in first place, right? And it's just like at the same time, if it's not going anywhere, even if they make the playoffs, are they going to go deep in the playoffs? Most likely not. And is this a time? I guess they have to decide. What I'm thinking is if they have to decide where they're going to be in the long term. Is Carson still their guy? And if that's the case, and they know if they're not going anywhere, maybe I don't know, get some reps for another guy and see what he can do. I mean, that's just a thought I had, or keep playing the guy Carson and get these guys clicking on all cylinders, and hopefully they can build and get momentum for the next season or for the playoffs. Because it's like you make the playoffs. It's just like any other league. You catch lightning in a bottle, man, and you can run the tables.
Yeah, I don't know if Lightning's going to find this bottle.
Yeah.
I would love it, but that was my
Looking for lightning right now.
Yeah, you're gonna need Tom Hanks and Wilson, and not Brian.
Yeah.
Wilson, I'm sorry.
How much metal you got?
Just holding golf clubs up outside.
A kite and a key. You got a kite and a key anywhere?
Do you think this football team wins the division, Doc? Do you think they not that they turn it around, but you think they win this crappy division?
I mean, the way it looks right now, everyone keeps losing. So, I mean, it's a good possibility that they do win it. But I mean, how can they win at 3? What is it? I'm just trying to do the math. There's 16 games, right? So
they'd have to win. They'd have to win at least 5, I'd say, Doc.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to win 2 more games because they'd have to win the division games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And they still have.
But then you could be 5-10-1 technically.
Right. That's what I was trying to do the math. 5-10-1. Yeah.
It's just that would have to be easily the worst record of all time to make the playoffs. Easily.
Our bottle's buried in the mud.
No finding that bottle.
Oh
but
man,
it's been a bad year. It's been a bad year for Eagles football.
It's been a bad year in general.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Doc, tell some of the people you're working around everything that's going on and still helping people out through the craziness that's been 2020.
Yeah, man, it certainly has. Our offices are open. We're considered essential businesses in a sense. So, in that sense, I thank God for that. But for a couple of reasons, obviously, we can continue to help people, and obviously, I can stay in business to a certain degree. And thank God it's been good. But listen, we take every measure of precaution we can in the office to ensure like a safe environment for the patients and the staff. We just actually in our offices implemented an air filtration system, purification system, which is good. It's part of our overall plan because that by itself is not going to be a complete prevention thing. But between that, mask wearing and cleaning and hand washing, that gives us a good thing to go on. So people can feel confident they're coming into an environment that is as safe as possible. So that's what's been going on. There's things are going crazy right now with cases. Unfortunately, you can't go anywhere without hearing that. So that's what we're up to. We're open. Actually, I forgot we haven't talked in a while. Big news as of September. We actually, it's been on the docket for a while and it just got pushed back because of COVID. But we actually sold our Princeton office, or I sold my Princeton office. So we had someone acquire that in September 8th. So I am no longer, specialized physical therapy is no longer in Princeton, but we are still in Cherry Hill and Burlington. So that's just kind of a business decision on my end, but it worked out.
I got to be careful telling people to head up to Princeton.
Edit the footnote, Tommy. Edit.
I'll mess that up my next show, guaranteed. Every show the same way. I'm muscle memory now. So I mean, the biggest curveball of 2020 is the Princeton location. That's the biggest curveball for me in A2D of 2020. I have to get this out of my repertoire now. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You became notes quickly.
Edit. That's my fault, man. I take full responsibility.
We're accountability here, unlike the Eagles.
But no, we're good. We're looking to finish up. I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there. Just in terms of getting access to physical therapy, a lot of people have these what we call high deductible plans or things like that, and it comes to the end of the year and they've met their deductible, so now it's easier for them to kind of access care because they have less out of pocket expense. So if people are hurting or need help and you've gotten past that deductible stage, now it's a good time before the end of the year to get in. Any of your providers, not only physical therapy, but if you need help on a physical therapy end, you can certainly find us at, as the screen shows, specializedphysicaltherapy.com in Cherry Hill and Burlington.
Not Princeton.
What's that?
I'll say it's not Princeton.
Not Princeton, yeah.
The more we say. So just Burlington, Cherry Hill, easy enough. We'll nail it. So yeah, Doc. So it's good talking to you. It's good having you on again, and we'll get rolling more often here. We have the Sixers coming up here. I know you're a Knicks guy, right? Well, your Knicks just got Austin Rivers, so Austin Rivers not coming to play with his brother-in-law and father here in Philly, but staying close. So,
but did you call my Knicks?
I thought you were a Knicks guy.
No, man. I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm a Sixers fan.
He's a Sixer guy.
I knew there was New York. I knew it was the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that anybody would admit that they're a Knicks fan besides Spike.
I apologize. I knew it was New York something. This is what happens when we don't talk for a while.
That's it.
I make these mistakes because there isn't notes, and that was another one on me today.
I'll throw you another curveball. Guess what I was a fan of it when I grew up in the 80s, man? I was a Cowboys fan. That's horrible, right?
Oh,
should have probably kept that to yourself, Tom.
Yeah, I'll take my life, man. You saved me.
Yeah, but you redeemed yourself. You're fine.
You've come full circle.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's the sneaker that you take down and go down with you, buddy. Take that with you. Tell you what, not only is it great to see the doc, but it put me right in like the center square here of Hollywood Squares. So I'm really, really jacked about this, Doc. So if for nothing else, you know what I mean? Like I'm right in the middle here again. I appreciate
man, anything I can do to help, man.
Look at this guy. Notes. Knock it off, notes.
You got one of those red X's, man? You put a red X on.
Well, my predictions so far this year, you would X me every week. Comes to the Eagles. But on a positive note, sports-wise, the Sixers have done a lot. And they've done a lot over a short period of time. Not only, obviously, bringing in Doc Rivers and his entire staff, but obviously Daryl Morey, and then the deals are made on draft night, and then the pick as well of Maxey. So we've done a lot of, Danny Green, Seth Curry, and the list goes on some good additions, Dwight Howard. So your thoughts on the Sixers, Doc?
Yeah, man, I'm actually excited. I was good to see. I mean, I kind of like Josh Richardson, but I guess that's one of those things you got to do. But yeah, I think they made some good moves, man. I'm actually happy they didn't move Matisse Thybulle. I like his energy. He's a long guy. He can defend. He's a young guy. So I think I'm glad at least right now they're keeping him. But I mean, I'm excited, man. Hopefully the season can get off without a hitch, and these guys can run the tables, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this roster, big time, and just excited about. We talked about the Eagles and accountability. We hope that everything we brought in here, makes this entire organization more accountable, and hopefully we have a breath of fresh air and some new thoughts and ideas and new systems and actually play calls out of our head coach and just leaders and guys that I think that, players are going to buy into and believe in too. So I think there's a whole culture change that's happened here, over the last month when it's come to the Sixers.
Yeah, I think Doc Rivers brings a lot to the table. And, I mean, Brett Brand, listen, man, it just time ran out, man. And I think guys just, they needed a change at whatever reason. And you can't change all the players, they've probably done that for the last 7 years. But I mean, a new head coach, I think, was the way to go. And I think Doc Rivers is a good guy to do it.
Yeah, so we asked this question. This is the last question I got for you, Doc. We asked this question on, I believe, Friday night. So right now, as Sixers are constructed, are they a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference?
We got Miami. We got
Boston.
Boston, yep. Milwaukee. Is Milwaukee in the East?
Yep.
Yeah, Toronto, who's still good because they brought Van Vliet back. So there's still
Brooklyn.
The Nets.
Yeah. I mean, I'll reserve judgment on that. We'll see how Kevin Durant comes back. I mean, he's had a full year, but I mean, if his game is like his hair, forget it, man. I don't think he's good. He's good.
Yes, Doc.
Yes. Did you see that shot of him?
Yes, no, I did.
I'm joking. But
very 2020 haircut he's got going on there. Yeah.
He told LeBron's top of his head to hold his beer on that one.
Yeah. I would say top 5. I mean, a top 5 team, top 4 or 5 team. I would think so, based on paper. Yeah. I mean, obviously everything has to. I mean, listen, you look at Embiid and Simmons. Gosh, why shouldn't they be like one of the top teams? But these guys haven't fully met their potential yet. So hopefully Rivers can make that come out of them.
That is 100% true that they have not reached
That's the hope. Yeah, absolutely.
that potential. And now we got some accountability in the house, and maybe, and that's going to change it. Hopefully that changes it. Hopefully that's all that was needed. Because it's usually never the first guy who wins with a team anyway. It's usually the guy who's brought in after them. And, hopefully Doc Rivers is that guy for the Sixers. Hoping.
Yeah, I mean, the excuses are gone. You know what I mean? It's always about, well, Brett's, it's Brett, his system stinks. We're always injured. And it's just like, it gets old. It's enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like the Buck Showalter syndrome.
Can go play.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, sorry. Yeah, good, man.
No, I'm saying it might be like the Buck Showalter thing for baseball. This guy comes in, gets teams going, and then he leaves, and then a couple years later, they all win the World Series. I mean, it happened with the Yankees. It happened with the Diamondbacks. I forget who else he coached, but that's what happens.
Yeah, it happens. The one guy, it's happened. I'm not comparing these guys to Jordan or guys like that, but it happened there where a guy won a lot of games in a place and they couldn't get over the hump, and another guy comes in and finally gets him over the hump. But that's going to come down on the players, holding themselves accountable and getting better. So you hope that they can't get away with some of maybe the stuff they got away with under a different regime. Because at some point, I think it is hard to turn the accountability switch on when you start hearing your tanking games. So, I think it was always hard for him to have to be that guy and not be that all the time. That's how it felt like, at least.
Mm.
All right, Doc. Well, tell everybody where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, and we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can find us at specializedphysicaltherapy.com, Cherry Hill in Burlington. You can find us on Facebook too, and follow us all the action. Actually, if you got any older folks at home, or you yourself have issues with balance or dizziness, we're actually doing free balance screens in our offices through this month. I can send the link over because there's a way to sign up for that if you guys are interested or have loved ones that need a look at their balance. We're doing that we'll probably do that for the rest of the year.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Definitely send that over. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are listening or et cetera that, maybe even some guys our age. Just falling around.
Greg's got band balance. We'll send him over.
I was going to say, if I was in town, I'd be over.
Doc, you're the best. It was good talking to you again.
All right, guys.
And
good seeing you, Doc.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again next week. But next week will be more. We'll be talking about how bad the Eagles get beat up on Monday night. So be a little bit
Happy
better.
Thanksgiving too, Doc.
Yeah, you guys too, man. Be safe, all right?
Doc, happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Family, Doc.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
See you,
Yeah.
buddy.
That was Dr. Paul Vidal, everybody. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, as you can see on the screen. And Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. That's where you can find them. So we were talking a little Sixers
I'm not gonna pull a phone switch here. I'll be right back.
and a little NBA.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hello.
You guys good?
Hello.
Right up in you. Right up in you.
Man, that was a top baseball.
Tomsy.
That was a top baseball card right there.
Sixers. Get
That was a-
Tomsy.
That was a rookie card. That was a Topps rookie card for a second there. I liked it.
I forgot to ask the doc about my own damn back. I can't even freaking move. Should I ask
Go
him
get your
about
free balance testing.
I don't need my balance. I can't stand. It's worse. I can't sit for a long period of time.
Good point.
But the Sixers making some moves, and changing things up, which is definitely exciting and going in the right direction. So, we'll see where, if these two guys take the next step, and more Joe just got to be on the court. I think he is what he is when he's on the court. Ben's more of just developing your game a little bit more as you continue here. That's been the biggest thing with Ben Simmons. I thought he got better last year. You know what I mean? Definitely thought he got better. He improved definitely some parts of his game. Obviously, we're gonna harp on the jump shot, which is expected. But if he comes in and expanded his game a little bit. I think that's all we would ask for when it comes to Ben Simmons. It's just expand your game a little bit, and I think we would all be happy this year if that took place.
Yeah, I mean, I think this season goes as far as Ben's improvements go, right? The step Ben takes, I think, is going to be the biggest jump for this team because they've now done a very good job of surrounding those guys with complementary pieces. You know, so it's where do these three guys or two guys in particular take this team? Joel's game is always going to be what it is, right? So it's where does Ben go? What development does Ben make to make this team even better than it is? And I think that's the key for the Sixers this year.
I'm in agreement, Greg, but to me, I was more what they were going to put around them. I feel like if you look at it, when Ben and Joe were together before Jimmy, when they were the most successful together, when they had a great player efficiency rating. Not that I'm an analytical nerd, but I heard.
Apple Watch talk.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I don't like it. But I heard this the other day, so I'm gonna pull it out.
Analytic talk.
So what was that? The year before we got Jimmy. When we had shooters around them, when we had Redick and Ilyasova and Bellinelli. Yeah, when we had those guys, they had they played really well together, really well. And it's going down the last 2 years because you know what? We hadn't had any shooters around them. And you see all the time, Ben gets a lot of open looks for guys, and no one hits a fucking shot. Yep. Well, guess what? 15 guys in the league have a career 40% three-point shooting percentage or higher. 15 guys. We acquired 2 of them in this past week.
And we already had one too.
Yeah. So Danny Green and Seth Curry. Danny Green and Seth Curry, huge additions.
Not a big Shake guy, but Shake's also a guy who's in that top 15.
Yeah, I'm not a Shake guy either. I hear you, but he has shot the ball well.
Since we're all numbered up right now, I'm just relaying that. That's all.
I'm just saying. To me, it was good moves. Strictly when you look at you're trying to surround your 2 talented players with the best, the best way for them to be successful, and that's the best way to be successful is to have shooters around them. So I love the moves in that aspect. I think that we've vastly improved already, and I do think that we're looking at a good season. Now, the East is getting tough. It's getting tougher every year, obviously. More guys coming into the East now, possibly even more as free agency evolves here. But I think that right now we're looking at top 4 or 5 team in the East, and maybe even better. So you got to be excited with how the Sixers look right now. You got to be excited.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would hope that they're, I'd hope they would be, maybe somewhere, maybe in that 3 hole would be somewhere I would sort of put my expectations at, right? You know what I mean? Until they go beat somebody that's been better than them, I can't really do too much. Makes sense? You know what I mean? Even though I'm a huge believer in how upgraded they are, etc. You know what I'm saying? And huge believer in the staff, huge believer in everything. You know what I mean? That they've done so far. And making their 2 and building a roster around their 2 best players' skill sets, right? But I got them right around 3 as of right now. So where are you thinking about them? And just some of your thoughts. I know you haven't been on to be able to talk about him either. I know you and Wills haven't. So just some of your thoughts on this direction they're going and some of the moves they made.
Yeah, no, I'm right around the obviously the exactly what you guys were saying, right, in that vicinity. You know what I mean? But if I had to pick right now, probably a 2. I mean, that's how I feel. How much better I feel like we got. I know the Bucks are trying to do some things, and I'm a big Holiday fan. Bogdanovich would have obviously helped them. You know what I mean? But they get to keep DiVincenzo, and I really like that kid a lot. So they were giving up a lot of pieces. You know what I mean? So. But the Bucks are the Bucks. Anytime you got spelling bee, you got a shot. You know what I mean? We'll see. With the Nets, I'm just not sold. You know what I mean? KD is KD. I despise Kyrie, and I have no respect for him. I know he can play. Don't get me wrong. He's a crybaby. He's always hurt too. He's made of glass. So I mean, I'm not sold on the Nets. We'll see. But KD, if he's healthy, obviously, he's a game changer. He makes them. What they, he'll make, he'll drive that engine, you know what I mean? So they are what they are. Boston is always going to be Boston. You know what I mean? The Boston's going to be good. You know, I think Toronto takes a step back, but I do like Nick Nurse. I think he's well coached. He's a great coach. Excuse me. But Ibaka was a huge, it was a huge part of what they're doing there. Even though, Pascal's awesome, and I'm just, Freddie is Freddie. It's today's NBA, so nothing shocks me. But if you would ask me, Freddie's a $21 million a year player, I would laugh in your face. But that's the NBA. I get it.
The NBA money is crazy, isn't it? Sweet
monopoly money. So people always bitch about
guys that stink make $8 million a year.
People bitch about people bitch about
$1.5 million, guys. We can make $1.5 million.
$1.5 million, you're underselling yourself. I was thinking I was at least $4 million. I'm at least $4 million player.
No, I agree. People bitch about MLB contracts. These NBA contracts are outrageous.
Outrageous. Montrezl Harrell should choke his agent. I don't know. I guess he wanted to go to the Lakers and he took a pay cut. But how's he getting $9 million a year? How's Gordon Hayward on one leg getting $20 million a year and you're getting $9 million? I don't know.
30 a year.
I don't know.
30 a year.
Sorry, $30 million a year.
Oh yeah, that was
30.
That's the one that blew my mind. That's the one that blew my mind.
Oh, absolutely. Jordan feels like he's going for it. It's like, I don't know, is that going for it?
And my guy Jeremy Grant got paid, which I'm happy about because I like Jeremy Grant a lot. But $20 million a year for Jeremy Grant's a lot. That's a lot of money.
four games in, Tua got hurt. So I don't know. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. But
two times
ankles it looked like.
Yeah, it's only
two-time sweeps.
Wow. It's only a matter of time. The duct tape, duct tape only lasts so long. Unless you're that guy doing the video, like Wilson was talking about that one show with the guy doing the video with the, that shit lasts forever. But just regular human duct tape, that don't last. But back to normal stuff, yes. And then obviously, you're not going to disrespect the Heat. I like what the Heat did. So, there's it's a 5-team. It's 5 teams. It's a 5-team monster in the East. So. But I expect us to, barring injuries, to
Justin Jefferson making a good catch
to land in the 2 or 3 spot. I like what we did. So as long as we're, we had to make changes. It started with getting Brett the hell out of there, and then I'd like to see Toby come out and leave town too. But we'll see. He played his best year for Doc, so it's now or never too, Toby. So time for you to step up. But you love, like you said, it's the evolution of Ben. Will a shot ever be there? Who knows? But continue to make plays. Run the court. And get out in the fast. Get out in transition and find some guys in the corner that they don't do anything else but that. And that's where Curry hangs out in the corner. Besides being married to Doc's daughter, he just hangs out in the corner. We'll take 4 threes a game. That's fine. Yep. I'm not going to annoy him. He's not a game changer, but he's what we needed. And Danny Green, you can't expect him to be as bad as he was in the bubble. Danny Green is a winner and a guy that's a shot maker. So.
Played great for. Everyone looks at the bubble sweeps, like you said. Yeah. Everyone looks at the bubble and it's like, "Wow, he stunk and he stinks." You don't know what you're talking about if you think that Danny Green stinks, because, like you said, winner, 3 rings, I believe, and played really well for Toronto a year ago when they won a year and a half ago when they won the title. So,
always not easy playing with LeBron either. So
you can say he didn't play well, but he did start on a team that won the championship. So
just hope we don't bubble again.
I think Dwight Howard's a weirdo, but a guy who was also on that roster,
guy that played very well as a backup last year,
and a contributor. So you took veterans, and we talk about it all the time. I tell anybody who wants to listen to me, we talked about Ben and Joe over the years, right? Dude, veterans win in this league. Veterans get the chips. Right, as you get older, you get to them. So now the time's getting there, right? For Joe, especially now for Joe, it's like time's now. But for Ben's still coming into that time of where you start to win. You know what I mean? So these guys are working their way to that age per se, while you're bringing in veterans around them that can help progress it even quicker. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's like a little shot in the arm to help that process go faster. Well, Joe's ready to win now. You know what I mean? Because Joe's game's complete. Makes sense? Like, Joe's game's complete when he's on the court. Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
If he got in better shape, I'd agree. But yeah.
Well, I was talking about his game.
Oh, his game's great. Yeah. Game's great.
Game per se. So
I just think that You know my gripe with him, Tom. He hangs out at the 3-point line too much for me. I feel like if he was in better shape, he would dominate more inside. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, do you think?
But I love his game. I love his game.
Well, do you think the new staff and the spacing helps that?
It should, but he still has to want to be inside and dominate more. That's a want thing. Because you're going to get beat up inside. That's the way the league is. Granted, you don't get beat up like you used to get beat up, but it's just the way the league is. You're going to take shots.
Like you said, it's philosophy. So let's just hope that that Doc says get your ass in the fucking paint. I understand it.
And he's going to listen.
I understand the NBA is different, but that's tough shit. You know what I mean? You're 7'2". Get your ass in the paint, back to the basket, and let's go. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear any bullshit. So
you would think that Doc has the, which is the reason you bring him in, has the presence and the authority to allow to where Joel's going to listen to him. Whereas Brett was like his friend, his buddy, and Brett's like, hey, just get to the block, will you? You're like, I got you, coach. I got you.
Yeah,
there's no I got you this time.
Yep, you're right, Greg, and you never go. And the other factor, we don't really talk about this, but everywhere Jimmy left, he sort of trashed. Like he left Minnesota and he trashed Towns and he trashed. You know what I mean? He let it be known. The one thing you can say, he's a pretty honest guy, and I think we all agree with that. Like Jimmy just tells it how it is. And when Jimmy left here, I mean, he couldn't praise Embiid more. Couldn't praise him more.
Yeah, really only trashed the coach, to be honest.
Yeah, think about it, though. You know what I mean? So he never trashed Ben, really. There was rumors, but nothing publicly. And he praised Embiid with like a freaking article on Instagram. I mean, it was an article. He had no reason to write an article about
him and JJ Redick both trashed Brown, actually.
And that's a veteran. I take Jimmy's word for that in a way where I believe he can be that guy. Because Jimmy's like, keep being dominant. You're going to be a star. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Whatever the case he said. But he said a lot of good things and positive things that make me want to still believe that, I can still trust in Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? Is that Justin Jefferson?
Nope. Dalen.
No, Thielen.
Okay. Just
Adam, I got a feeling.
But Justin Jefferson had a good second half.
No, I know.
Justin Jefferson's a good player.
Watch him catch plenty of balls. But on the other side of it, like, I got to believe that he's going to be dominant here. I got to hope, right? Because he's a big part of this. You add all these pieces around, but I can't like the way this roster's coming together enough right now. I really can't. And, the one thing we say about Ben, he's gotten better every year in certain aspects. I feel like his free throw percentage will go up again. So when he gets fouled, he'll be more comfortable, confident going hard to the rim because he trusts himself, right? And then that spacing opens up for him to be able to take guys off the dribble, right? Just to have them guys out there opens up teams W and clog the paint. Because now you can't clog the paint when he drives. You can play off of him, but you can't clog the paint when he drives. And now if you pull up and turn in 15-footers, when they back off, guess what they got to start doing then? Then guys got to respect it. So all I'm asking for is that from him really this year. It's just to stretch it a little bit just so your offensive game continues to improve. But regardless, I think he's such a specimen and such a skilled player that, he's going to be fine. And I don't have any issues thinking that he's going to be banged up or anything. He's been a pretty healthy guy for the most part since he came into the league. So I hope that's just a fluke last year.
Yep.
Tua actually looks okay, Sweeps. I didn't say anything, but he's moving around all right.
We did bring in 3 centers, though. I mean, we do have 3 centers, so interested to see how we go about that.
Yeah, Tony Bradley is a guy that I thought. He's like a defensive length guy and a guy that can get you some garbage buckets, but he always seemed to give to play decently well when I would watch Utah. He only played for like 8 to 10 minutes a night, but we weren't getting shit. We weren't getting absolutely shit out of what's his name, Smith. So why not? I'm for the trade.
Well, yeah, you had nothing out of Noel or Powell, whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah, Northern Pell. Yeah,
and you got really
Northern
nothing. And you really got nothing out of Kyle Quinn. So now you have Dwight Howard and Bradley. So they're your 3 centers, including Joel. So most of the time teams carry 3. So
yeah,
I know. And for Darren Moore to carry 3 tells you that maybe he wasn't all in on the small ball that happened in Houston last year. Maybe it wasn't all him. I'm just wondering, thinking outside the box, but because they'd go out and address the big man position quickly here, and Elton did. I think Elton still got say here, or he wouldn't be here, right? I think that's that simple. I don't think if Elton didn't have say, I think they would just fire him. and bring in a guy they want. So the fact that they help him must mean Doc and Maury believe in and trust him enough to, with their help, put together a real roster. So it's exciting because it really is. I mean, for the first time in a while, you can say, man, okay, there's no excuses now, So like we talk about with the Eagles sometimes, there's no excuses. This roster's ready to win games. Should be at least. So definitely jacked up about it.
Yeah.
Any more thoughts about the Sixers, boys?
I think
just excited and ready for the start of the season, really.
I was just going to say, I think we're all excited, and now it's, whether they're done or not, it's time, when it's all said and done, it's time to go play, like we say every year, what I mean? Like, stay healthy, take care of your bodies, and go play, because there's been enough talent, all right, for, not for first round exits, what I mean? So it's getting a little fucking old. That's all. You know what I mean? Yep, so absolutely. You made a change at the top, made a change with the coaching. So now then it falls on your two superstars. All right. And it's, that's all we said. We said, hey, listen, let's see what happens after Brett's gone. You know what I mean? And that's it. So it's now it's two superstars, and now it's your time to look in the mirror, fellas, and turn that corner. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Ben guy. I'm not anti-Ben, but let's go. I'm gonna need you to see turn the corner in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, continue to round out your game. You know what I mean? We know what you can do on the defensive end. We know what you can do in transition. We know you can get to the rim at will. All right, it's time to take some jumpers. I don't need you shooting threes. All right, I don't want you to be Steph Curry. All right, but I need you to take a guy off the dribble, pull up, take a 17, 15, 17, 18 footer. All right. And then, really, really, really take your offensive game to a whole new level. You know what I mean? And we know Joe likes to talk. Stay off Twitter, get your ass in the block, all right, and fucking punish people. Let's go. And it's get an identity. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Yeah, I think that the great thing about Ben is, and I know this is bold, but if that shot develops, he could be better than Giannis. Could be.
That's bold. I agree.
It's bold because no. Bold, but he's because of his ability.
Listen, you're not trying to sell me on that, Tommy. I've been saying it for years.
I'm saying right at that ability though to be such the impact, because his impact defensively alone is shown, his impact passing the ball is shown, his impact getting to the rim is shown. So he just missed, and I think his all-around game could be better because I think he can shoot better than him. Honestly, I truly believe he can if he just did it. You know what I mean? It's cleaner than Giannis's. So, you know what I mean? We watch videos of being way cleaner than Giannis's three. And I'm just talking about size and the ability to run and the ability to defend. Like, he has that. He's not as thick as him, but he has that ability.
Yeah, but that's like, I hear you, but that's like a guy hitting off a tee. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys look good at hitting off a tee, right? So I know what you're saying. I mean, it's just that's the question. You know what I mean? Like, reach down and see if they're still there. Jog them around, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not bold when you're talking about a number one overall pick in the draft and a guy who should be able to be one of the best players in the league. Like we drafted him and Joe to be, well, Joe fell to 3, but still. Or 2, or whatever it was, but we still drafted.
You were right; it was 3
to be the best players. Be some of the best players in the league. So, maybe he's not going to be as good as him, but can he get right there to be in the conversation at least? If he just finishes off his game, that's what I'm hoping.
I don't even care about that. I just want to see us perform well and win games. Really, I don't care if he's scoring, shooting, or passing the ball. We need to win games. We didn't play well last year, especially. After he got hurt in the bubble and everything, we just didn't play well as a team, and we got to play better this year. I think that's the main reason that obviously the changes happened, because everyone could see we didn't play well. We didn't look good last year.
Yeah.
So looking forward to getting rid of that script, rewriting it with a whole new story, and thinking that we got good talent here, talent that we think we can win with. So let's get it done.
Wow. He fumbled the football. Wow. He fumbled the football.
He Miles Sanders did.
Wow. Sweepsy. Look at that one for the Fins. Fins up.
Miles did.
Still in it. That's unbelievable, bro.
Who was it? Melvin?
Gordon.
Melvin?
It
was Gordon.
Come on, give me a signal here. I mean, unless I'm behind you guys. I mean, what's going on?
No, they're just hanging out. I don't know what they're doing.
They called a touchdown. That definitely went the way I didn't expect.
What happened?
Well, I did because I've been watching the game, and I'm not a guy that fucking puts things on referees.
Way down. Oh my God, it's way out.
I'm not that guy that puts things on referees, right? But they've been atrocious. Kept a
That
drive.
ball was out the 3-yard line.
Kept a drive going earlier with a phantom fucking roughing the passer on third down. Fucking joke.
Imagine that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine
That's a good call. I mean,
linebackers making plays.
This guy, look at you, buddy. You got picked on in high school. You got picked on fucking fierce, buddy, and you called a touchdown. You're an embarrassment. I don't care if your fucking view is blocked. Look at the fucking Megatron before you fucking call a touchdown. Fucking ball came out at the 3. Jeez.
Oh.
Now, are they saying touchdown because they recovered? They can't be saying it because it was
Touchdown Cowboys.
Tony Pollard just went to the house.
of course. If it's going to be that, it can't be Zeke.
T-ball!
If it's going to be that, it can't be Zeke. Unbelievable.
Right. Like I got Zeke in a leg, of course. Like, somebody
No one
goes,
cares about your fantasy, Tom.
I was just talking about
I'm just fucking with you. You can say whatever you want.
No, nobody cares about fantasy. You're own. Besides yourself, and that's the way fantasy is. I know. Listen, I know it's a bold statement because I'm not Uncle Ben here, but I'm just
Uncle Ben, good rice.
Yeah, great rice. I'm just hoping that full development, that full development coming, he can be a top 5 caliber guy. So I'm just hoping for it. Sort of try talking into a little existence here. But crumb of the week, boys. I might have a couple, so I mean, I'll go. I'm not going to lead us off because I never do. So I'll let somebody else lead us off. But it might be an onslaught by me.
Crumb on up. You know what? I got one for you, and it's not. I'm not going to pick an individual person. I guess I'll say James Harden because he's the most recent to do it. But I have a serious issue with guys that are being paid $40 million deciding that they don't want to play here anymore and trade me. Shut the fuck up and play basketball. I'm sorry. I have a problem with that. I really do. You're getting paid handsomely. You signed a contract. If you didn't want to play there, don't sign that long of a contract. Sign a 1-year deal, and then you can decide where you want to go after that. But you should fucking value and honor your contract if you sign it. So they're going to say, well, I wanted to sign a big contract in case I got hurt. Well, guess what? Then that comes with signing the big contract. Now you're locked in. So they're lucky I'm not the owner. Sweeps, we're going over the owner thing earlier. Lucky I'm not the owner because I'd tell you, tough shit. You signed here, you're playing here. And you don't like it, you can sit the fuck out. Sorry.
Like guys like John Wall.
I have a serious problem with these guys all of a sudden. Well, they got rid of this guy, so now I don't want to be here anymore. Shut the fuck up and play. I have a problem with that.
No, absolutely, brother, absolutely. I mean, there's too much. Excuse me. The players have too much control, right? Yep. And that's just, what I mean. Like I said, you should have a say. Of course, that's why they have a players' union and stuff like that, right? But once you make that commitment and that responsibility, you should you should honor it and stand up. And go from there. It's not, just because things become, a little bit of adversity and guys want out of town. It's a joke in all sports.
Absolute joke.
Or guys like John Wall who hasn't been on a court, demands a trade. Like, how are you demanding anything? I should demand you to play.
Yeah, exactly. I should demand my money back for the last 2 years. I paid you for nothing. Yeah, I agree, Tom. Like that to me, that stuff's nonsense. That's just nonsense. If you think, oh shit, maybe I won't want to be here, 2 years down the line, then only sign a 2-year deal. Don't sign a 5-year deal. Well, they'll never do that because they want the security of a 5-year deal. So you gotta take it. That's part of the game to me. You gotta work with that then. Okay. I understand it's everywhere. It's just something that really, really irks me.
Oh yeah, and like I said, and then they're gonna be, dictating where they want to go. Like, send me to the Nets. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it's convenient. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wish Vancouver Grizzlies started a team because I'd send you right fucking up there. How's Vancouver in December? I don't know. See ya.
Yeah, how cute. Another super team. That's great. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to digging your heels in and winning where you're at? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Being the best face of the franchise you're at and find a way to, to win there. You know what I mean?
Not to mention the NBA is borderline unwatchable already. Let's make it so there's only 3 teams that have a chance to win. At least this year it kind of was better because, Golden State wasn't dominating the league and LeBron wasn't in the East getting to the finals every year, so you didn't even have to watch. At least this year we had a couple, a little different flavor. Granted, LeBron still won anyway. He's just now in the West. But
yep.
Like it's unreal. The NBA is almost unwatchable. The playoffs are good, but the regular season, we keep getting these super teams. It's like, why are we even having regular season? Why are we even watching?
Yeah. Again, the product's terrible.
Shitty, real shitty. And they'll tell you it's great. They'll tell you how great they're doing but the product sucks.
They do overseas. That's their issue.
They did until they started questioning China, and China came in like daddy and said, slap that hand. No. And they started, I'm so sorry. I hate the NBA so much because of how much they fucking sucked the China's dick after that happened. Oh, so sorry. I hate it. All right, I'm done now. Sorry.
Greg got a crumb?
Yeah, what did I miss? Just sweeps was James Harden?
No, it was really just NBA guys. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many to pick from.
And a backdoor cover out of the Jets. Come on, New York.
See, I can't. I'll go Doug Peterson. We talked a lot about it early on in the show. I've obviously never been a Doug guy. So this is kind of what I've seen a lot of, the whole time he was here, because I didn't buy into just making the playoffs was good enough. But what we brought up all as a group earlier, throughout everything was they don't look ready to play. They don't look well coached this year. That is something that you couldn't always say. My hatred aside, you couldn't always say that previously. Yes, there's parts of last year, you're right. Mm-hmm. Where they don't look ready to play. They're not disciplined. I mean, how many offsides penalties do we have today? It's not like Baker's this greatest, hard count guru. They're very undisciplined. They're not very good, and they're not very well coached. And that just leads right back to Doug Peterson. Obviously, there's more issues. We spent the first hour going over it. There's a lot more issues than just Doug, but he's always been my crumb. So,
yeah, and
spot on, Greg. Spot on.
Absolutely. I'll stay in the football world, but it has to be James Franklin. I mean, you're talking about 0-5 preseason top 10, 0-5 at Penn State. I mean, I don't care if you're going to compete.
First time in history.
I don't care if you were going to cut the Nets down or you were going to compete for a national title, whatever, right? 0-5 is a disgrace. And I don't care how bad your quarterback is. Once again, that's talk about going, that's coaching again, all right? Going into something, and not being prepared. You know what I mean? Not having, a plan B. Hey, listen, we seen Clifford's act. You know what I mean? He's not the big red dog. You know what I mean? He's just some little poodle. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a plan B.
Poodle talk.
And it's just, wow, 0-5 and just not competitive. You know what I mean? They were just at home. I was a good football team, but they just thoroughly outplayed again, beat up, and just, it's disgraceful, you know what I mean? And it's, like I said, for Penn State fans like Greg, it's got to be frustrating and embarrassing. And wow.
All I can say to you guys is this happened to Syracuse 20 years ago. And I mean, I can only hope it happens to you guys for as long as it's happened to me. So,
No, and you're right, Sweeps. You brought it up. You're at Penn State. It's not like you're at Northwestern, where you might not be as talented year in and year out. You might not have the recruiting classes year in and year out. This guy goes around boasting about his top 5, top 10 recruiting classes year in and year out, and he stinks.
Yeah.
He stinks.
I feel like he's always been a terrible game day coach.
Yeah.
Now
with
it's
you there.
going to personnel as well.
I'm with
That's
you
what
there.
I'm saying. Like he's the guy that has the brand new Ferrari, and there's no engine in it. Like, good for you, James. Yeah.
By the way, there was Jefferson Tommy.
Yep, again.
He can't play though.
No, guys.
That guy that's a good Elton John song would tell you he can't play.
And guys would tell me
Leave on.
Guys would tell me you don't fit our offensive scheme. Just beat a guy one-on-one.
Good Elton John song. Bad talent evaluator.
In defense, what is our offensive scheme?
Can we get some guys to get open?
Can I get a guy that gets open?
Yeah. A guy that's open and catches the football sounds like a guy you'd want, I think. I'm no genius, but guy that gets open and catches the ball, probably a guy you want.
Fitzy's got more passing yards than Tua, and he's played half a quarter.
Colts
Bubble
got
for
it.
who?
Fuck.
Packers. I was wondering why the Colts were favored tonight.
Dude, shut the fuck up, Greg. Damn it, you're in front of me.
I got Michael Pittman in a DK. I need it.
Nobody.
You mean fumble for Colts?
I love the Colts today. I was large Colts today.
Yeah, I was a heavy Colts guy today.
Packers fumbled on the kickoff, so Colts got it.
Love it. I'm behind. I was looking at the Colts still having the ball.
Sweeps, one final point on Penn State real quick before I let Tommy do it from. I was talking to my dad last night and just said, hey, they have like a redshirt freshman kid. Obviously, Levi's and Clifford both stink. Give the redshirt freshman a shot. Whether he stinks or not is better for recruiting because these kids now as quarterbacks look at this program and say, I can go play right away. Whereas before, they would stick with these guys throughout their juniors and senior years because they were never good enough to rotate the quarterbacks. So all these guys would transfer out or not commit because they don't want to sit for 2 years at a place like Penn State. They'd rather go play all right away. So if you start this kid and he stinks, which you're probably going to, you hopefully get some guys to commit and say, hey, I can go in and compete and maybe play right away. Or if he's good, you have a quarterback for the future. Because the other two stink.
You're right.
By the way, to top that off, that just made me think about Justin Fields because didn't he pull that shit to you guys? But Justin Fields lost the Heisman on Saturday because he looked like garbage.
Yes. And
I feel like the kid from Florida should be the one that is in the lead right now.
And he's not. He should be
though.
He'll try.
He's balling out.
Well, so you're right. Fields was here, but he knew McSorley had 2 years left, and obviously McSorley wasn't leaving early.
Yeah,
and then they had Clifford behind him. And then Fields is just like, what do I do, right? And he transferred twice, so there's no guarantee he would have stayed anyway. You know what I mean? But
sorry, I don't know if that's on the Colts, but Taylor touchdown. It's comical because I'm playing against Taylor. Taylor's been on a milk carton because I think he fucked Frank's wife for like 3 weeks, and then Frank was like, "Okay, that's fine. You know, my wife's okay. She got over it." And now he's back to playing today, and he's killing it.
I have him, and I started him today just because I had to.
It was on Colt. It's a hold.
Yeah, Pascal.
Yeah,
oh, goodness.
Great hold.
Yeah, if you're going to hold, you might as well do that. Yeah,
if you're going to hold it, better run for a touchdown behind it.
It would help that play out. Listen, mine's just what I watched again today and what I've watched this season. It's like I said, it's the worst football I've watched
since the end of the Kotite era, Tommy.
I was going to say that, Wills. I was going to say that. I mean, it's bad football. It's uninspiring.
Maybe the end of the chip era. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
At least like at all them errors, I felt like there was hope. You know, I'm starting to run out on my hope. So it's just this entire organization.
You had hope in Rich?
No, I was talking about besides Rich, like the other ones.
Rich had like the best defense ever and couldn't win a playoff game.
I meant more like I went more like Ray. Like the end of Ray Rhodes. He's sort of okay, new guy in here, fresh. Maybe we'll win games. Same thing after Chip when you brought Doug in. You sort of brought the fresh, sense of life, and you had a quarterback brought in both times, so it sort of gave you that feeling like, okay, we have our franchise quarterback, right? It's the first time now that I don't feel like we have any of it, and I'm concerned as an Eagles fan on the direction of this football team. And right now, this whole organization is my big time crumb, and it is what it is. Not a lot. I don't got a lot to say about it because we said it for an hour and 20 minutes. But it's just to reiterate it. That's how bad it is here. That's how bad it is, boys. But great show.
We'll still be watching next week. Let's go, Birds.
Yeah, Monday night. We'll be watching all right. If anybody picks him out there, best of luck to you. And if anybody thinks this team has any shot at anything, best of luck to you. But I think most people officially see it now. So when that happens, it's only a matter of time if the locker room didn't quit that they do real soon. So it looks like they did already. But great show, boys. Thank you, Doc, for coming on. Dr. Paul Vidal.
Good work, gentlemen. Good work.
Yep. LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations.
Good to see your mugs.
Princeton locations.
Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody and all our listeners and followers out there. Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's going to be a weird Thanksgiving this year, but hopefully it's still a good one.
And that's what happy Thanksgiving, and that's what Fitz does. Just throw a pick.
Fitz magic.
It's all right. I bet Denver.
Oh.
I saw this coming. Miami's a good team, though, Stapes. I know you were mad at me last week. So I said that they're banned. I like the direction.
Oh man, that was a good play.
That was a great play, but you can't be late. You can't be late over the middle. I mean, come on. You're a 16-time vet, all right, with a tremendous beard and swagger for days. You can't be late. I know you've been doing. That's why you're a backup. You can't be late over the middle. All right, another second, game's tied. That guy doesn't get over.
Yeah,
you look him off, bang, boom. Oh well.
It's been a great disagree. Only on radio. We got shows for days here, tons of shows. So make sure you got your alerts set. Subscribe, download if you're over on the podcast form at all. We're everywhere, and we love you guys. And wish there was brighter day. Hope for brighter days for the Eagles. Brighter days for the Sixers seem to be upon us. So that's exciting, and we'll figure out the direction of hockey here soon.
Yeah, maybe I was gonna say maybe the Flyers will play. We don't fucking know.
Nobody knows about.
Of course, the Flyers are looking good now. The NHL might not play. Shocker.
Jefferson 40-yard touchdown. I don't know if you saw that, Tom.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, that's the one we were talking about. Wes got another one. I mean, what a surprise!
No, they got the lead.
Yeah, I mean another 40 piece, but Wes doesn't fit here.
Doesn't fit the scheme.
100 fucking catches in the biggest conference there is, but he doesn't fit. Okay, you can take your fucking fits and shove it up your ass, people. When you tell me about fits, fits is talent. Talent fits anywhere.
This is why we stink as an organization, because we worry about fits instead of talent.
Yeah, my back's as fucked as the Eagles are. Great, disagree.
But all these fits, we still can't stretch the field. So how's that working out for us?
Tom, there's talk of a phantom back injury is why you don't want to play on Thursday.
No, dude, it's bad.
There's talk, a lot of talk. Guys are whispering, chirp, 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 chirping.
Like guys talk.
They said Tom remembers it could be a little windy. Last windy Thanksgiving, he threw 8 picks. Don't think he wants to go out again. There's a lot of chirping. That's all I'm saying. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Yeah, I'm not a guy who's scared of a little challenge. I think you know this. Never have been. Ain't gonna run away from any challenge.
I wouldn't think you are, but you seem to be running. I mean,
if I could move, I wouldn't be running.
They make pills for that.
Yeah, not for this, because this is bad.
See the doc.
I'm just fucking. Yeah, call the doc. I'm getting adjustment.
Forgot to ask him. I don't know if anybody.
Quick adjustment. Not sure what I did with my hands there, but quick adjustment.
No, there's no phantom. There's no phantom. I mean, I don't like it right now. I said I gave the game time decision out because I just don't know. Right now, if you were playing, right now there's no shot I can move around and throw a football. The first throw I make, I might be Jason Pete. You know what I mean? Coming right out. Here I come. Sub. Felt like my whole body broke. So, great show, boys. I'd like to thank our doc. Make them yours. Like we talked about, Dr. Paul Vidal, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, as well as, you guys like that? There's no notes with that one.
I like it.
PhillyDrinkers.com/A2D radio. You can get all your A2D merch and anything Philly Drinkers you want as well. So tons of merch over there. So get on it. And allcampusoc.com for any of your team hats. Discount code for right now. Use Keps Corner, both with a K. Keps Corner for 15% off any hat on the website. So you guys got that as well. So just handing shit out here like we do. Been fun. It's been confirmed. Torn ACL for Burrow.
Wow.
Yep.
Sad. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I know it's not going to be the same this year as we're all used to. So listen, you hang in there. You enjoy with your close loved ones, and make the best out of it. Enjoy some football. Enjoy the football. Hopefully, a Cowboys loss on Thanksgiving. Nothing sweeter. All right. Agree to disagree. ATD Radio. We out. We love